This thug, young nigga playing cops and robbing. You with them folk.
Alright, y'all. So, new topic. When Errol Spence makes easy work of Terence Crawford, is he now the GOAT? Because, right now, both of these guys, even though you might have your feelings about both of them, the resume, how they became champion, strength of schedule or strength of competition, or whatever you want to call it. No matter what you say about either one of them, if this fight goes off this year, both of these guys are shooting for immortality in boxing history. They're going for something. both guys are going for something very few fighters have accomplished, which would be undisputed welterweight champion. And one of these guys is going to achieve that accomplishment. One of them is going to get left, I think, by the wayside. I think one of these guys, whoever loses twice, I think one of these, we might end up with a trilogy, but I think somebody's going to end up losing twice. I think whoever loses twice is ultimately probably going to retire from the sport. We're probably not going to see them around much after that. And I think one of these guys is going to get elevated to GOAT status, and one of these guys is going to is going to just be a good fighter when they get written into the history books. Now, me personally, because of the accomplishments of Errol Spence, because of the way he became a champion, because of his level of competition that he has fought and the timing of those fights, I think he's ultimately going to be the guy that pulls this off. I think he's going to be, ultimately the too much exposure there, buddy. I think he's ultimately going to be the see if I can get that to refocus. I think he's ultimately going to be the undisputed champion of the world. I think he's ultimately going to be the guy walking around with all those belts at the end of the day. And I think there's only one thing that could really tear this apart for Errol Spence. And that's the whole eye injury thing. Now, injuries like that, they can come back. He just had a brutal fight with Udanius Ugas. He had pretty bad, that was a pretty brutal fight. More for Ugas than Spence, but Spence definitely he took some damage in that fight. So maybe, when they do put this fight together, 4, 5, 6 months from now, maybe the eye injury comes back up. How the eye injury happened, what role is that going to play in all of this? And I think it is going to ultimately play a role in all this. I think, perhaps his body, how much damage has Spence's body taken. This camera don't like this exposure at all. How do I fix this? Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, I hope that fixes it a little bit. How much damage has Spence's body actually taken? And if he does run into hard-hitting Terence Crawford when they get in the ring, or perhaps something else happens in sparring, does Terence Crawford get screwed out of this fight for another year? Like Pacquiao got screwed out of his opportunity? Does this get put off? Maybe he goes in, maybe they put the fight on and Spence goes into sparring. Spence's eye gets hurt again, or maybe Spence's rib, he gets a rib injury or something. Hey, this is from that. Anything can happen. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think Errol Spence is the biggest winner in all this. And I think when he does get this fight, I think he will beat Crawford, but there's a lot of ifs at play. You know, will the eye injury come back up? Does he want to stall again? You know, because he's playing with all the cards right now, and he could possibly stall this thing out. You know, if he wants to, he could just say, hey, I don't want to fight no more this year. You know, my eye hurts again. My ribs hurt. I got to take a break. I do think he's not going to fight him this year. I think he will fight him next, but I think he will fight him next year. I think he's going to take a decent enough break. You know, it's what, April? It's April right now. So May, June, July, August. You know, it's 4 months. You know, I think he'll take 6. September, October, and then they'll start talking about putting the fight on. I could be wrong, but I think he's going to want to get his rest. He's going to want to make sure it's the right venue, everything's perfect, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Everybody gets what they want out of this fight. But I do feel like there could possibly be some stalling tactics in this as well. My eye gate might come back up. You know, Spence might want to take a break, you know, for a little while. We don't know. Terence Crawford there might be some bag of worms that gets raised with Terence Crawford with this lawsuit. We still don't know what's going on with Crawford in this lawsuit. Does Bob Arum try to potentially stop the mega fight from happening because he's not getting any money until the lawsuit is over with? You know, I think that's a point that nobody's bringing up yet. You know, what has Terence Crawford ultimately started by starting this lawsuit? You know, does this stall his career up any? You know, I talked about that a few months back, that this could possibly put a monkey wrench on his career because he doesn't know what type of things this is going to stir up in litigation, what type of loopholes Bob Arum might have had written into his contracts that he tries to pull the card on now that he knows Crawford just isn't with him anymore. There's no telling. So there's possible eye gate that could come up. There's Spence might want to take a break until 2023. There's Bob Arum still in the mix because of the lawsuit. A lot of things at play, but I think at the end of the day, when Errol Spence makes light work of Terence Bud Crawford, he will be named the GOAT by this generation. But I think last generation fight fans might want to see him go to 154 and try to make a name for himself before they start labeling him a GOAT, because Pacquiao went through 8 divisions. Mayweather was undefeated. Pacquiao went through 8 divisions and was the oldest welterweight champion in the world. Those are mega accomplishments. Mayweather was undefeated. That's a mega accomplishment. Nobody can touch Ali's status. You know, he will always be one of the greatest of all time. And there are countless other fighters out there that I think that you can put way ahead of Crawford or Spence, even if they were to become undisputed at welterweight. I think there's still more that could be accomplished for both of those guys. And I think whoever ultimately makes it to 154 and has even a slight bit of success, I would have no problem calling them the GOAT, whether it's Crawford or Spence. I would say you are the GOAT of this generation, with an asterisk, because both of y'all ducked Pacquiao. I don't care what nobody says. Quack, quack all day long, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. But when it comes to this generation and the accomplishments of this generation, until Boots beats both of y'all tail, or one of y'all tail, whoever's left, I will say you're the GOAT of this generation. I'll give that to you. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Like button, share, subscribe, tell a friend, all that good stuff. Gotta go get some gas before I get stuck. It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and I think that is it for now. So, yeah. We're out of here.
Clean, I had to get that. Sir, little buddy, put them there. All my niggas, they ratchet. Shoot out in the puff. My big cup, babies and others.